Well, hi everybody, Andrew London here with Kirsten.
Hi.
It's lovely to be here, which is just as well, because we're all locked up like you in our homes, but that's very nice, and we've been talking for some time about what we might do and how we might, because of course our gigs are all gone. They went from lots to zero overnight, and there's been a lot of ideas. Different people are doing different things live on Facebook and Skype and Zoom and what have you, and we explored lots of different options, and we decided that we might try and do this little live show and put it up on YouTube. But it won't really be a live show in that you won't be seeing it in real time, but it'll be a live show because we're starting now and we're just going to keep going till we get to the end, and we're not going to do any editing or going back or anything like that.
It's pretty raw.
It's going to be pretty raw, warts and all. Yeah, it's so warts and all that I haven't even got any shoes on. So, but you can do that when you're just seeing your top half, But I have got my pants on, which is
he has.
So
He has got his pants on.
It's just as a family show, so. That's good. And we thought about trying to charge for it and, charging for passwords and things so people could see it. And then we just thought, no, we'll just leave it open for everybody. And look, if you want to contribute, you're very welcome to. And obviously we'd be very grateful. And if you go to my website, I'll have some instructions there on how you could do that, which is andrewlondon.co.nz. And there'll also be some links to where you can download songs or albums if you like what you hear. And so what we're going to do is we're going to play our theme song to start with, because that'll just get us in the mood and make sure that we've got everything going how it should be. So, are we ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, nice to see you, how you been? It's been a year or two. I heard you're doing famously at whatever it is you do. Me, I'm just fantastic. How nice of you to ask. We got this conversation back on track at last. You must have heard I got that job with the advertising game. You won't believe how much I earn, but I'm still just the same. Sure, I go to San Francisco, the Côte d'Azur on biz. All my friends are famous, or they know someone who is. Let's talk about me.
Let's talk about me.
I'm much more interesting than you. Let's talk about me.
Let's talk about me.
My life is fabulous, it's true, let's talk about me.
Let's talk about me.
Because it's something that we all should do right now. There's enough about me, let's talk about you. So what do you think about me, eh? So tell me, how's the band? How's that little town you settled in? I can't remember what it's called. Let's all have another gin. And I'll tell you how I met the All Black captain just last week. And maybe then you'll get a chance to speak. Or not, let's talk about me.
Let's talk about me.
I'm much more interesting than you. Let's talk about me.
Let's talk about me.
My life is fabulous, it's true. Let's talk about me.
Let's talk about me.
Well, it's something that we all should do right now. Come on, it's enough about me. Let's talk about you. So what do you think about me? All right. So nice to see you, how you been? It's been a year or two. I heard you're doing swimmingly at whatever it is you do. Me, I'm just fantastic. Well, a Prozac helps a bit, and it's only when I stop I realize I'm talking. Shall we talk about me?
Let's talk about me.
I'm much more interesting than you. Let's talk about me.
Let's talk about me.
My life is fabulous, it's true. Let's talk about me.
Let's talk about me.
Well, it's something that we all should do right now. Come on, that's enough about me. Let's talk about you. So what do you think about me? Let's talk about me.
Can we talk about me?
I'm much more interesting than you.
Really.
Let's talk about me.
Quite boring, really.
My life is fabulous, it's true. Let's
Does
talk
go
about
on,
me.
What
Well, it's something that we all should do right now. Come on,
Such
that's enough
rubbish.
about me. Let's talk about you. So what do you think about me? Eh? Okay. So I have had a bit of time. I have a little bit of time to write some things, and I have worked on a couple of new songs, but they're not quite ready for us to release to the world just yet. Inflict on the world. But what I thought we'd do, I have written a very short blues song, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to give a short lesson in how to write a blues song, because it's very, very easy. You could train a chimpanzee to write a blues song. And so what I thought we would do is I'll show you how it's done and invite you to send in some verses. So I've written this little song, and it's called the Lockdown Isolation Blues. You see, what you do with a blues song is you write a line, and then you repeat it, and then you write another line that rhymes. So your verse has like 3 lines, and the first 2 are the same. You can make the second one different if you wanted to make it a little bit more interesting, but you don't need to. So what I've got is a little blues song here, and it's got just the 3 verses, the first and the last of which are very, very similar. And I'll put these lyrics up on my website, and you can go have a look at them if you like, and there's your template, you see. And what we'd like you to do is to come up with alternative verses, maybe about what you're doing during this lockdown period, and then the best ones that we get we'll incorporate into the song, and we'll sing them on our next episode of Live at the Londons.
Cool.
Episode 2, this being Live at the Londons, episode 1, I should have said earlier, of course. And we're going to do them numerically just to avoid confusion. We'll do number 1 first, and we'll do number 2 second, and you'll see a pattern start to emerge after that. Yeah. Okay, so the Lockdown Isolation Blues. I got them lockdown isolation blues. Oh, I got them lockdown isolation blues. See the second line, same as the first. I don't want to read the paper, just can't stand to read the news. Here's your third line, so that's your verse. Well, I had enough of Netflix, and I had enough YouTube. Found some oil in the garage, thought I'd give my car a lube. Didn't say it had to be a great line. Finished all my jigsaw puzzles, wore out my Rubik's Cube. And then you do the first verse again to bookend the song. Lockdown isolation blues. I got them lockdown isolation blues. Check my YouTube channel, but I only got 3 views. So there's your blues song. I'll put the lyrics up, so hopefully you can do a lot better than that, because it's not great, really, is it? So there's something to keep yourselves busy. Okay, so now we'd like to do a song that's been very kind to us over the years. It's a song about the gradual emotional emancipation of the New Zealand male. Very important subject.
Very important, yes.
Yes, and I think it's exemplified, of course, and has been over the decades by our mighty All Blacks, our role models as New Zealanders. And if you'd watched the All Blacks as we did back in the 60s, you'd have noticed that when they scored a try, Sir Brian Lahore or Colin Meads or somebody would score a try, they would frown their way back to halfway. Nowadays things are different. An All Black scores a try, of course there's an immediate orgy of hugging and kissing, chaps jumping all over each other, patting each other's bottoms and what have you, which is very nice. I think it's very healthy.
Yes,
and
very.
that they can be outwardly demonstrative
Definitely.
and affectionate towards each other. That's a very good thing, and I'm sure it'll filter down gradually to wider Kiwi maledom. So that's what the song is about. And what I forgot to mention was what we're doing today is we're going to do a song from all of the albums that we've made over the last 7 or 8 years. This is a little bit like an advertisement, I suppose. We have made 7 albums and a DVD. And so we're going to play a song from each one. The first one we did, Let's Talk About Me, that was from the Middle Class White Boy Blues, fabulous cover there from Angie Glinderman. You can see actually that is part of the... I can't do that.
No, it's your guitar.
All very,
yeah.
it's
Too
part,
hard.
it's part of the F hole on my guitar. Anyway, so this song is from the second album we did from 2014, which is called Ladies a Plate. Fabulous artwork there by Jared Taylor, who has a graphic design business. He lives over in the Wairarapa. I used to flat with Jared Taylor. So look him up, Jared Taylor. Wonderful. So here we go. And we'd like to do this just especially for my mate Morgan down in Paraparumu, Mad Dog Morgan. because he likes this and gives me a hard time about it all the time. And I'll give you a hug, mate, when I see you next. Now I'm a Kiwi through and through. I'm an All Black follower just like you. I grew up watching Pine Tree on TV. He'd score a try between the posts and trot on back with the other blokes with no display of joyfulness or glee. And I was brought up similarly. We don't emote spontaneously, and we try to avoid displaying affection publicly.
Publicly.
Yeah, but something happened the other night that I'd like to share with the group tonight that signifies a strange anomaly. I was having a beer with a mate, you see, or a shandy it might have been actually. He was telling me things were grim as they could be. He'd lost his job at the florist shop and got pulled over by a traffic cop who booked him on the spot for DIC. And his wife had run off with his kids and shacked up with a mate of his, who's consequently behaving quite aloof and rather smug.
Aloof and rather smug.
Well, I don't know what came over me, but just as we got up to leave, well, bugger me, I gave my mate a hug.
You hugged your mate?
I hugged me mate.
You hugged your mate?
I hugged me mate. By the time I realised what I'd done, it was just a bit too late. He was big and he was hairy and he was understandably wary. It was scary, but I hugged me mate. "Here, what's that for?" he said to me, and I mumbled about solidarity and being there for your mates when times get tough. So he wandered off and I fretted a bit, but he seemed to soon get over it. You know, things got back to normal soon enough. But I was down the pub just after that. I was having a pims with another chap on a Thursday when they do that excellent dill and salmon quiche.
Dill and salmon quiche.
Well, he looked distracted as we dined, so I said, "What's on your mind?" He said he'd heard I hugged me mate, and what was it like? Well, I said at first it was rather strange. We both felt awkward at this rearrangement of the traditional way that Kiwi blokes behave. But I said that a moment of intimacy had been enjoyed by my mate and me. Might have been even nicer, actually, had he shaved. I said I thought we should be allowed to show affection, even in a crowd. Not be afraid to let it out so everyone can tell.
Everyone can tell.
Well, he looked confused and a little sad and told me how he missed his dad. Well, stone the crows, I hugged this bloke as well.
You hugged your mate?
I hugged me mate.
You hugged your mate?
I hugged me mate. By the time I realised what I'd done, it was just a bit too late. He was big and he was hairy and he was understandably wary. It was scary, but I hugged me mate. Yeah, so we've all gotten used to it now, and we don't fret anymore about how we show affection indiscriminately. And we get together, put the world to rights on our regular Downton Abbey nights in the spa pool with a tall banana daiquiri. And as Dave and I drove home last week from the ballet, I began to speak about how sensitive and caring we Renaissance chaps can be. He agreed he certainly had progressed, said he rather liked the way I dressed, changed gear and put his hand back on my knee.
You hugged your mate?
I hugged me mate.
You hugged your mate?
I hugged me mate. By the time I realised what I'd done, it was just a bit too late. He was big and he was hairy. He was understandably wary. It was scary, but I hugged me mate. I was sensitive and caring and I hugged me mate. So get out there, you blokes, and hug your mate. There we go. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you may have spotted an edit at the beginning of that song. I had to do it twice. I did, in fact, forget the words in the middle of that, so I had to do that on twice. Having skited right at the start about how we weren't going to do that, I've gone completely back on my word.
You have.
And there, you might see a little break there in the continuity. Yes, if we had a continuity person, we'd fix that up, but we don't. So never mind. Moving on. What we did next after that was we did an album called Live at the Bent Horseshoe with fabulous artwork once again from Angie Glindeman, from a photograph taken by our mate Jeremy Fleming. And we made this album out of a live concert that we did at the wonderful Bent Horseshoe, Steve and Robin Tolley's Cafe at Tokomaru, which was a fantastic music venue for years and years and years. Lots and lots of musicians played there. And not long before it closed, we were lucky to be allowed to do an album there, which was recorded by our good mate Paddy Addison, who lives over in the Wairarapa as well. Paddy's worked with David Gilmour, Pink Floyd, and James Last in Germany. He was going over there once a year to work with James Last, a wonderful guy. So he came and sat in a terrible old van at the back of the cafe and recorded this one cold winter's night, poor beggar. Live at the Bent Horseshoe, and on it we did this song called Wake Up Baby, which we often get requests for. It's one I actually wrote and recorded with Hot Club Sandwich. It was on our very first album called Enjoy Yourself or Get Out, but we've recorded it so far only on this one, live at the Bent Horseshoe. So we're going to do Wake Up Baby. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wake up, baby, it's 11:15. I know you only got to bed at 7. It's true what they say, a woman's work is never done. I don't like to wake you, but the baby's getting smelly. You know I'd do it for you, but the rugby's on the telly. But after that, you can take it easy for the rest of the day. But dishes need doing, cats throwing up in the corner. I wouldn't mind a cuppa if you're coming through the kitchen again. By the way, I could use a little lunch if you think you could be bothered. Just a little something, don't you go to any trouble. And after that, you can take it easy for the rest of the day. Wasn't that funny last night when the car broke down on the way home? My back was playing up again. You had to change the tire in the rain. What a sight. Well, there's a little bit of cleaning up to do round the shower. I got to watch the All Blacks for at least another hour. God, I'll be glad when the rugby season is over. So I don't mind if you rest a little longer. Shift that piano when you feel a little stronger. And after that, you can take it easy for the rest of the day. Oh, baby, put your feet up. After that, you can take it easy for the rest of the day. Very nice. Okay, so we always get requests for Kirsten to sing a song, and rightly so. So we'd like to do one actually, which we did. See, I'm forgetting my own plan here. We did this one on this album, which came after the last one. This is called "Let's Take Offence." Once more with wonderful artwork from Angie Glindeman and excellent photographs from Bradley Garner, marvellous photographer. This is a great fun album, and this song we'd like to do is called "No Ordinary Sheila," and it was commissioned actually by Hugh McDonald, the filmmaker Hugh McDonald, who was making a movie about grand old Wellington identity, Sheila Natush, a wonderful, wonderful woman, who I think was Hugh's cousin.
Yes, yeah, his first cousin.
And Hugh made a fabulous movie called No Ordinary Sheila about her, which he for which he commissioned me to write a song. And I wrote a verse, and I sent it to him as a bit of a draft and an idea and said, what do you think of this? And he said, oh, I really like it. I like it so much. I've written the next 2 verses, which he did. And they were much better than mine. And so we've included all 3 in the song. So 1 verse by me and 2 by Hugh McDonald. No Ordinary Sheila.
No Ordinary Sheila.
And our own unordinary, extraordinary Sheila is going to sing it for you, hopefully. It's a bit of a mission. She's
yeah.
very brave, even having a shot at this, considering we haven't played it for a couple of weeks.
No,
so
that's right.
haven't played anything for a couple of weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
This is very good practice for us.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Are you ready?
No?
Come on, we'll play it anyway, eh?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Ain't it pretty, ain't it grand? Expectations all be damned. No, ordinary Sheila. No complaints, no complaints, no regrets and no restraints. No, ordinary Sheila. Socialite, movie star, princess or a queen. Either way, she wouldn't wanna be a highfalutin nursery. She is just content to be no ordinary Sheila. She's a girl that shuns her car, rides her bike both near and far. No, ordinary Sheila.
No ordinary.
Constellations in her sights, scanning skies on inky nights. No, ordinary Sheila.
No ordinary.
In her little bumble boat she sails across the bay. In Cook Strait the weather needs a keeler.
Straight the weather needs a
Says she's off around Cape Horn Sunday at the crack of dawn. No, ordinary Sheila.
All right.
Husband Gilbert at her side, tramping, climbing far and wide. No, ordinary Sheila.
No ordinary.
Shunning folks who cause offence with silly fights and arguments. No, ordinary Sheila.
No ordinary.
Oligarchs and misanthropes, scoundrels, drugs and knaves. Anxious people searching for a healer.
Anxious people searching for
Outward toxic strain and stress, and you can be like, can you guess? No, ordinary
She
Sheila.
is so extraordinary. No
ordinary Sheila.
Oh, well done. Well done. Excellent.
A really fast song. Lots of
Hugh,
words.
Hugh McDonald, no ordinary Sheila. It's a stinker, isn't it?
It is.
Actually,
It's a
stinker. Yeah, I don't know why we chose to do that. I'm absolutely exhausted now. Oh yes, now we've got a couple more that we'd like to do, and particularly this one. This one is called Palace of Dreams. At the moment, you can only get this on a DVD we put out last year. It was filmed at the Wellington Bluegrass Society down in Petone, and actually it was a bit of a celebration because not only were we recording it live, and the reason we were recording it live was because our dear friend Niels Olsen, saxophone player, was going off to Germany a couple of days later. So it was our last opportunity to do a gig with Niels, and Andrew Bicknell, the president of the Wellington Bluegrass Society, or Grand Panjandrum as he is known, down there, very, very kindly agreed to allow us to have a gig there just before Niels went. And it was a very joyous occasion. What we were not to know at the time was that very week, just a couple of days before the gig, it must have been just in early June. In fact, it was June the 8th. Well, on Queen's birthday, obviously first weekend in June, the Queen's birthday honours list came out in the newspaper. And what do you know? Andrew Bicknell was awarded the QSM for services to music because he's been running this Wellington Bluegrass Society almost single-handedly for 28 years. And in the celebration of the occasion, I actually wrote a little poem in the form of a telegram from Her Majesty the Queen, which I might read for you, actually, because we've got plenty of time. Ladies and gentlemen, you are gathered here this evening to share some joie de vivre at some backward little hamlet called Petone, I believe, to hear the Andrew London Trio's songs. Perhaps you'll sing along. God, I hope he's got some new ones. He'll undoubtedly get them wrong. I've been busy through the weekend entertaining, don't you know, that artless oaf from North America with the tacky orange glow, but I was able for a moment to attend to my in-tray and came across a supplication from some peasants down your way. They informed me of a chap down there who's famous, as you'll know, for rustling up musicians and putting on a show. Occasionally a thankless task. He must be slightly bats. I've heard that wrangling musicians can be just like herding cats. Printing posters, selling tickets, all this mostly on his own, unstacking and then stacking chairs and answering the phone, exercising diplomatic skills with councillors and bands who frequently present him with ridiculous demands. So I summoned up my minion who hands out all the gongs and acknowledges the serfs to whom acknowledgement belongs. And another name was added to this weekend's list of them. I take great pleasure introducing Andrew Bicknell QSM. And it was a wonderful celebration because Andrew's very popular down there because of all the thousands and thousands of shows he must have put on over the years. We had a hell of a good time and made this album and this DVD out of it. And one of the songs...
Goodbye to Nils.
And Say Goodbye to Nils, which was very sad, but but joyous and celebratory nonetheless.
It was.
And a couple of the tunes that we played, we'd like to do for you. This one in particular is called Palace of Dreams. Now, Palace of Dreams is the name that Kirsten and I have for our local Hammer Hardware store. We're very fond of our local Hammer Hardware store because it's a nice little family business and our kids are the same age, so we've shared the football field sideline with them in the middle of winter. Sometimes our kids have been playing footy together and school sausage sizzles at gala days and things like that. So we know the couple very well, Connor and Erin, and it's fantastic to still have the odd family business around where people know your name, and sometimes if you go in there and you want something delivered, it will often arrive home before you do. That's how efficient they are.
Very. Thanks, Hemi.
Yep, and Hemi, yeah, good on you, mate. And so here we are, Palace of Dreams, our tribute to the local Hammer Hardware store. Are we good?
Yes.
2, 3, yeah. Building a bar or a boundary fence, you're understandably reluctant to incur the expense of taking on a tradie with a good reference. Though he's got all the proper tools and lots of experience, so maybe you decide you're gonna do it yourself. Take the rusty Black & Decker down from off of the shelf. You find the very acme of advisory teams awaiting at the Palace of Dreams. Palace of Dreams, Palace of Dreams. In small town, people often go to extremes to help you out with something that you've never done before. Same day delivery right to your door. Palace of Dreams, Palace of Dreams. Enlightening conversations on constructional themes. Now doing it yourself is not as hard as it seems. Down at the Palace of Dreams. Oh! Palace of Dreams, Palace of Dreams. In small town, people often go to extremes to help you out with something that you never done before. Same day delivery right to your door. Palace of Dreams, Palace of Dreams. Enlightening conversations on constructional themes. Now doing it yourself is not as hard as it seems. Down at the Palace of Dreams.
For home and hardware.
Down at the Palace of Dreams.
For tools and timber.
Down at the Palace of Dreams. For removal and replacement of your structural beams to your authentic model replicas of Roman quinquiremes. They'll help you out down at the Palace of Dreams. Fantastic. Hammer Hardware, good on you guys. Love you. Okay, and one of the other tunes on that album is relatively new, and it's called Alfonso, which we'd like to do for you. We used to help a friend who had a gardening and section maintenance business around Wellington, mostly in the leafy suburbs that begin with the letter K, and we had numerous enlightening conversations with the good people, the good citizenry of those places, and from those experiences assembled a montage into a little song.
Potpourri.
A potpourri, yes. A collage, if you like. And this is in tribute to our friend Alfonso.
Mm.
You right?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. Alfonso, be a darling if you can't find time today. Repaint the lines on the tennis court, blow the leaves away. Put out the balls and rackets, wind the net up tight. I've got the ladies from the bridge club round for drinks at 6 tonight. Oh no, we don't play tennis, ha, you gave me such a fright. But one does like to cultivate the impression that one might. Alfonso, be a sweetheart, will you clean the swimming pool? In the summer house you'll find a hose and a little sucky tool. And maybe spread some towels round, though we've never used one yet. Well, they're Egyptian cotton, dear, we do try not to get them wet. Oh no, we don't go swimming, why? I'm not sure that I could, but one does like to cultivate the impression that one would. Alfonso, be a treasure if you're not run off your feet. Perhaps a coat of varnish on the outside dining suite. And maybe stack some firewood by the pizza oven too. Yes, I know we never use it, but it should look as if we do. No, we never dine al fresco. Well, there are ants and things that buzz, but one does like to cultivate. One does like to cultivate. One does so like to cultivate the impression that one does. Lovely. Okay, so that's pretty much all that we had lined up to do, but we might finish with a little song. I missed this album out, which is called Let's Have Friends Around for Dinner, which once again was a song I wrote some years ago and recorded with Terry and Terry and Tate Jameson, I think, for Hot Club Sandwich. But we redone it on this album, which has this lovely picture of the leftovers of a party. Once again, done for us by Jared Taylor, fabulous graphic artist. I'm very grateful to Jared for doing that. And this song is on this album. The song is called Play My Way Home. And I actually recorded this song first with the Cattle Stops on an album called Back to Rosetta Road, which we're very, very proud of, because it was a finalist for the TUI Award, the Best Album, Country Album of the Year in 2007, I think. And then it was picked up by the makers of the movie that was shot locally called Secondhand Wedding. And we got to be in the movie and everything. We got to spend the day with John Rolls, which was very cool. Shot the movie scene, and we were the band in the movie scene, you see. And then also, just as we were feeling pretty proud of ourselves, the album was named in Simon Sweetman's top 10 list of the year, his top 10 worst albums of 2007. So, back to earth with a thud.
Yeah, keeping it real.
Thank you, Simon. Yeah. Hey, look, I hope you've had a good time.
We have.
Listening to us. We have. I didn't mean to do any edits, but we had to. I'm sorry. So you might have spotted a couple of little edits where
one was my fault.
One was my fault and one was my fault. One each. Yeah. One each. We're even.
Too many words.
Too many. It's a stupid songwriter. That's your problem right there. So look, go to our website. Get on my email address. You can do it from the website if you're not, because we're going to notify about these through email. Because we've got a big email database. That's what we use it for, to let people know. And we're going to put this up on YouTube. And if you want to contribute, we'd love that. Thank you very much, because obviously we're not doing anything else. So this is called Play My Way Home. All the best. Keep safe and well wherever you are.
Get writing those blues songs.
Yes, yeah. The lockdown isolation blues, please. Sometimes I don't play for the money. Sometimes I don't play for the beer. Sometimes I can't find better reason than to sometimes just play my way home. Even a rich man has to worry. Even a blind man gets to roam. Sometimes I can't find better reason than to sometimes just play my way home. All lights out, everybody's leaving. I've just got time to write one more line. Can't play the black notes when I'm sober. Can't play the white notes when I'm drunk. Sometimes I can't find better reason than to sometimes just play my way home. And again. Than to sometimes just play my way home. All the best, everybody, for the lockdown period, and we might do this again in a few days' time, hopefully with some requests from you. You can send them in by email, or you could probably make little comments on the YouTube clip, I guess. You'll figure it out. You know where we are. All the best, and thanks for listening.
Bye.
Cheers.